Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into an absolutely unbelievable historical mystery. I am so excited to share this one with you because we're looking at a discovery that literally disrupted everything archaeologists thought they knew about North America. Just imagine for a second, you're out looking for a simple run-of-the-mill shipwreck, and instead you stumble upon something that completely defies all logic. Well, that is exactly what we're digging into today. It really makes you wonder, how much of human history is still buried right beneath our feet? Or, I guess, in this case, beneath the water? We walk around every day, just assuming our modern maps and historical records have a pretty solid handle on the past. We kind of trust that the major chapters of humanity have already been written. But what if they haven't? What if there are these massive, silent relics just waiting in the dark to completely rewrite our timelines? That's the big takeaway here, the thrilling realization that our history is still actively being discovered. Some of the biggest secrets are hiding right in our own backyards. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the hidden depths. Before we get to the main event, let's just think about some of the other world-shocking anomalies that have completely changed our view of the ancient world. And we aren't just talking about, finding a lost coin or a broken pot. Think about a 3,300-year-old shipwreck, hidden deep beneath the Mediterranean, perfectly preserved, carrying copper ingots from a forgotten Bronze Age trade network. Or how about the coelacanth? Scientists firmly believe this creature had been extinct for over 65 million years, and yet, there it is, just swimming around in the deep ocean depths entirely undetected. It's wild. These incredible discoveries prove that our planet's waters are basically a giant, untouched vault, keeping ancient secrets completely safe from the passage of time. And among these anomalies are some highly mysterious underwater stone structures, which brings us perfectly to our main subject today. Moving on to Section 2, the Michigan Anomaly. Let's look at this eerie puzzle hiding deep inside a quiet lake. So our story begins back in the year 2007. Picture this. Archaeologist Dr. Mark Hawley is out exploring the icy depths of Lake Michigan. Now, the Great Lakes are vast, they're cold, and they are incredibly unforgiving. They actually hold thousands of shipwrecks scattered all across their murky bottoms. And Dr. Hawley? He was just out there doing routine survey work. He absolutely wasn't looking to rewrite human history, and he certainly wasn't hunting for ancient lost cities or mythical monuments. It was honestly just a normal day mapping the underwater landscape of a very familiar lake. But there is just a staggering contrast between Dr. Hawley's simple mission and what he actually detected. His initial goal was incredibly straightforward, right? Find the remains of a long-lost ship. Marine archaeologists do this all the time. They methodically track historical trade routes and scan for sunken wooden vessels. But the reality of what popped up on his screen, man, that's what makes this story so unbelievable. As he carefully scanned the lakebed with advanced sonar equipment, he didn't see the jagged wooden ribs of a ship. Nope. Instead, he saw a perfectly straight line of massive stones. When that unexpected shape appeared on the screen, it was instantly clear. It wasn't a ship. The sonar returns were way too dense, far too regular, and entirely the wrong shape. There was zero metal signature, no rotting wooden hull, no scattered cargo or anchors on the lakebed. Whatever this technology was showing completely defied all expectations for a typical nautical archaeological dive. And because these enormous stones were in a perfectly straight line, it certainly wasn't natural rock either. I mean, nature is beautiful, but it rarely operates in perfect geometric lines over a massive flat lakebed. Glaciers usually just drop boulders randomly as they melt and retreat, right? Water currents scatter debris chaotically over thousands of years. But a perfectly straight line of enormous uniform stones stretching across the bottom of a lake, come on, that requires intent. That requires a creator. Which brings us to Section 3, beneath the surface. Because you can't just see an anomaly like that on a screen and sail away. You have to go down there and investigate. Driven by some serious curiosity after that initial advanced sonar scan revealed the impossible, Dr. Hawley knew he had to see it with his own eyes. So he puts on his diving gear and plunges into the freezing, pitch-black water of Lake Michigan. The descent was freezing cold and the visibility was incredibly poor. He's swimming down through this murky water, navigating the silent depths until he finally reaches the bottom. And then, as he approaches the exact coordinates, the underwater dust and silt slowly settles to reveal the truth. Huge stones had been deliberately arranged in a straight line. When he looked closely at those massive rocks, there was absolutely no mistaking it. We're talking about colossal boulders here, and no one had placed them there recently. They were sitting at the bottom of Lake Michigan. Literally up until that very second, the modern world had no idea they even existed. Someone, at some point in the distant, unrecorded past, had physically hauled, shaped, and placed those immense stones in that exact geometric configuration. The sheer impossibility of these deliberately arranged stones immediately forces us into the role of investigators. And we have to ask two massive questions: who and why? I mean, who could have possibly possessed the engineering knowledge, the manpower, and just the sheer drive to build a massive stone alignment in a valley that would eventually be swallowed by Lake Michigan? Just think about the immense effort required to move rocks of this magnitude. And why did they do it? Was it a territorial marker? Maybe a complex calendar used to track the seasons? Or a sacred border? And that leads us to Section 4, an underwater Stonehenge. Dr. Hawley didn't just stop at that straight line. Following that stone path several hundred meters farther into the darkness brings us to the most mind-bending part of the entire investigation. As he swam further along the alignment, he reached a perfect circle made from massive rocks. The sheer scale of it was breathtaking. And situated just beyond this massive stone circle lay a dramatic, steep drop-off. This precise layout, a circular formation of monolithic stones positioned with strict geometric purpose, looked strangely similar to England's famous Stonehenge. Just let that sink in for a second. An underwater Stonehenge sitting completely silently at the bottom of a glacial lake in the American Midwest. The implications of this are absolutely staggering for our understanding of ancient North America. Naturally, as news of this incredible discovery quickly spread across the world, it sparked global theories. A lot of experts started believing it was an ancient ceremonial site, perhaps an incredibly old spiritual gathering place built by ancient indigenous peoples long before the ice caps melted and the lake waters rose to their current levels. On the flip side, others claimed it was proof of a totally forgotten civilization, like an advanced, organized society completely erased from our history books, wiped out by massive cataclysms or rising waters at the end of the last ice age. Both of these prevailing theories completely change our understanding of human history. They suggest that ancient people in North America were far more organized and structurally ambitious than anyone previously thought. But the real explanation might be even more fascinating, leaving us with one final provocative thought to chew on. What is the actual truth waiting down there in the dark? If it isn't just a simple ceremonial site, and if it's more complex than a forgotten civilization, what could possibly explain a perfectly straight line and a massive stone circle at the bottom of Lake Michigan? For now, the mystery remains, quietly resting beneath millions of gallons of freezing water. It really forces us to realize that the history of our world is far stranger, far more complex, and far more deeply buried than we ever could have imagined. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep questioning what lies beneath the surface.